Hey guys, Ace TCG here, coming at you today with another deck profile, and today is one that a lot of you have actually asked for. So I posted quite a few videos of John's deck, so I'm with John now. I play with John at locals, and this is the deck that you'll have seen a lot of gameplay for Imperialdramon from. So yeah, this is his actual list, and he has a really nice Omnimod mat, and we're just going to go through it, and John can explain why he chose to run what he actually runs. So we'll start off with his babies, and he's actually running 4 Digimon. So go on, John.
Primarily just for the fact that you can always get the effect of proc. So much of the deck has jamming, and it was just a consistency thing where I want this effect all the time. I don't want to take a chance with, an Upamon or anything else, to be honest. It's just always consistent, and I never really feel like I'll run out of babies. The game's either over fast enough, or if it gets to that point, like, game's on board anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was the first thing, and I think the first thing that comes to my head when I see 4 is why aren't you running the 5th? But if you feel like you don't run out of them anyway, and I definitely agree that like making sure that you're getting that consistent draw, because you're not always going to get it with the Upamon, is pretty nice. So yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that one really. Especially with this deck, a lot of games end before you would ever get to that 5th egg really. Onto your actual rookies now. So you're running 4 Gem and Vmon, and so many Imperial lists are running this for obvious reasons. The card is actually insane. I don't think you really have to talk too much about it. It's very simple. It's just a rookie with a jamming ability, and it's probably one of the best rookies in the game. 4 is good. The only thing I would say is when like playtesting this and talking more about like playing it is it sometimes hurts because you want to just play it by itself.
Yeah.
You never want to go like on top of it. But the fact that you have the option to play this and like swing with Imperial, because Imperial's effect obviously restands jamming too, being able to get the value of even an additional attack from a rookie is ridiculous.
Yep.
It's terrifying. Next up, we've got 3 of the on-play. So this is the rare that came from set 1, I believe.
Yeah. Set 1.
But you put the alt art. John's got a lot of alt arts in this deck, and yeah, it's really, really nice. I love this alt art. But you're playing 3 of this, I'm guessing for consistency?
Yeah, it's mainly just on-play effects are just very powerful at the minute, and if you have to throw a rookie down, you kind of want it to do something at least. Yeah. It's a 1k, DP. It's not going to survive anything in this meta. It really isn't. So if you badly need to fix your hand or to fix a brick, this is ideal because you can go rookie on top of your baby in the first game, and then if you don't have a level 4, for example, you can pop this down and hopefully draw another level 4.
Yeah, really nice. Really can't argue with it. What you are running is something I've been seeing a lot more. We've been seeing it since set 1. The 2-cost rookies. These I've already talked a lot on the channel about why these are so valuable. Just being able to play a rookie for 2, a champion for 1, and then an ultimate on top of it for 3, meaning that you can get 3 cards instead of just the 2 if you were to hard play, for example, you Gabumon into a champion, ending your turn, is a lot of value. Is that usually the play that you like going for?
Yeah, pretty much. The Gomon has actually won me so many games because say if my opponent doesn't have a Tamer on board and I've got a pile down and he's only got like a security left, I just pop one of these down and then I've memory starved him. I can guarantee there isn't going to be Mega on the field facing me, and I've pretty much always won the next turn.
Yeah, I can see that. I've played against the deck a lot and it's annoying. Being able to have so much presence with the Imperialdramon being such a threat that you want to get id of, and then they're swinging at you with the likes of Lobamon, which we'll take a look at, and these really stupid little baby things that are just coming at your face and you're crying because you're about to lose. To finish off your rookies, you're actually running 2 of the inheritable Vmons. So yeah, if you don't know what this does, it's inheritable during your turn, once per turn. When this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your main, you can trigger to draw 1 card. So extra draw power, I'm assuming?
Yeah, essentially the entire deck is just a giant draw machine. This really helps with Imperial itself, and obviously when you bring out Imperial, this effect triggers. So it's super good. If you have to play the Imperial and pass to your opponent's turn, you still get value.
Yeah. So a lot of the things that I've seen, so this deck is definitely more combo-y than just thinking like go face, which of course it does because it's an aggressive deck. But with the draw power of the Vmon and the Demi Vmon from your babies, it helps you because a lot of the time you're trying to actually get all of your hammer sparks in hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Just from what I've seen. A big play that people will do using this deck is they'll have the Davis out, their Tamer, they'll go to 3, they'll play their ultimate, swing, and then they'll triple hammer spark so that they can use Imperialdramon in the same turn. And being able to have draw power from the Vmon and the Demi Vmon and even from the Gabmon is nice because you want to be collecting things, putting pressure on your opponent, and then in one turn just going, I have everything here. You're super screwed.
And it's all about choice. You'll see later the tap options I have. They need to sit in hand, and choices need to be made in level 6s.
Yeah.
And obviously we'll talk about them later. But
But just moving on to champions, and it's pretty simple. So you've got 4 Gorillamon. Again, don't have to talk too much about these. It's the simple 1 Digivolve cost card that most decks are running right now because they're just so valuable. As I already said about the play with the 2-cost rookies, being able to go into this is super nice. So of course we're running 4 of that. Actually, one question, and something that some people did actually ask is why you chose to run Gorillamon over Fish. So if you don't know, there was actually another 1-cost champion that came up for blue during this set. It's a Fish. It has a lower play cost, but it actually has a lower DP power too. And
essentially, yellow is like Storm in the meta, and this deck actually counters yellow quite hard when it goes right, when it doesn't break. Essentially, and I just kind of feel like you pick Fish for the 3-cost on play. And why that's great and everything, if you have to play a 3-cost on play, then it's essentially dead the next turn against yellow. I think Fish will definitely replace this next set when War Greymon isn't so prevalent. But for now, the extra bit of DP makes the difference.
So obviously with War Greymon being the deck now, it's 6,000, and that's still 1 War Grey swing. But the explanation that you have used for me before as well is that right now War Grey is using Anduamon, and Anduamon is a 6,000 DP power ultimate, and just that one, in this game, it's the very small interactions that can make you win games, and for the slightest chance that they've had that rested for any whatever reason, being able to swing into that is really nice.
Oh yeah, totally.
And again, with just anything, and it's nice to not have to threat so much about that. It's give or take. You play this specifically because of the 1 Digivolve cost more than anything. But yeah, I can see it. Another reason, actually, even though we keep going over it, and one you haven't actually brought up, is Midhogmon is still a thing in the meta right now.
Midhogmon is indeed the thing in the meta, and it's an odd one because obviously you don't want there's in the video I actually do hard play this, and Fish would have been better in that situation. But for every other situation beyond that, it's a case of Fish isn't really going to survive if he's just on the field by himself, and it's your opponent's turn.
And then there's also other values. If you swing with Gorillamon and they have a blocker, they're going to have to trade. A lot of the blockers right now in the meta are actually 5k base because the ones that we got that only have the Digivolve cost of 1. So you actually have value there because if they block, they're going to lose, but you actually survive.
Swing over the majority of them.
So there is give and take. There is there's value for both sides. And I think for the meta that we've had in locals a lot, I think this is a better choice. I think you play whatever your preference is, but John's is obviously the Gorillamon, and I didn't think we talked so much about another 1 cost. But here's one that I just I can't get over. XVmon. It's still an extremely insane card, just with the ability. So if you don't know what XVmon does, it's a 2-cost when digivolving effect of unsuspend one of your 4 or lower Digimon, your level 4 or lower Digimon. So obviously because we have the rookie Vmon with the jamming, being able to put this on top of another rookie and restand your Vmon, and then either that'll help it not be attacked, or it'll help it be able to go in for another swing, which is ridiculous. It's super crazy. Do you see this coming up often?
Surprisingly not as much as people think. However, undeniably it has actually won me a game or two. The fact that it can restand itself if you go from the Vmon is just disgusting. I mean, if you do need a quick 2 swing, this is the combo for it. 100%. I think a lot of people underestimate the fact that Vmon's very rarely going to die if you swing in security, and then place this on top, and it's just an extra swing.
But even in that scenario, and it helps with survivability, and that's the one thing. And you said the play there where you'll swing with the Vmon rookie and then play the XVmon on top just to restand it, so then you don't have a vulnerably rested Digimon.
That is what I do a lot of the times. So I mostly make sure they're protected by not leaving them suspended, because like you said, with Nidhogg running about, with War Grey being able to restand, or everything's under threat.
It definitely is. And looking at some of them more, so you're actually running 2 of the basic blockers. I know blue and red still don't actually have the 1 cost blockers yet, so I fully understand why you're still running these ones. But I've actually seen a lot of lists drop the blockers for this deck. Is there a reason that you still run them?
I think the meta's very fast at the minute, and obviously most decks are like OTK and stuff like that. You kind of need a blocker. For example, this just shuts down green completely. If green's swinging into you and you've got this on field, you basically live for an entire turn and their Digiverse is gone. It really does shut them down. I would run more, but it's kind of against what this deck is trying to do. It slows it down too much, unfortunately.
I completely agree, and you use the best deck in the deck that I was going to use. And this card is absolutely useless against yellow because they can remove 6k on a swing anyway, so you can't block. But against green, this just does it all. It stops the first 3 security checks from the on swing from the big boy OTK deck. And it can really come in clutch, and just a lot of matchups. If you play against red right now, it's very similar.
Red comes out of nowhere.
Exactly, and they can just be like, here's 3 security checks, and being able to block that really scares them. I know a reason why red struggles so much against yellow is because they sometimes run so many blockers.
8, isn't it?
You can. The fact that you can, a lot of running between that, even 7, 6, stuff like that. But yeah, and now to actually finish off your champions is the I always use this word in all of my videos, but to me this is the pièce de résistance of this deck. And this is the reason that you can actually steal a lot of wins. This is Lobomon. So you're running 3 of the Lobomon. You have the alt arts there, which are fantastic. So if you don't know what Lobomon does, it has the effect of you may play this Digivolve. So you may Digivolve this from your hand onto one of your tamers as if the tamer was a level 3 Digimon. Now this is so critical because you can put so much damage up with your actual deck and just with all your swings. But you always, I specifically in that set 1.5, I just always found that when playing against the deck, although it packed such a punch, you just could never get there. There was a lot of times where you'd be just sat there, you'd do all your swings, and I'd be on no security. But because you can't finish me, I have a turn to then build back.
It was the fun of it.
Yeah,
definitely.
But with Lobomon, you just don't have the time to do this. I played against someone else from locals, and I was using security control, and they just played all the tamers, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's fine. They must have a bricky hand, and then they Lobomon me 3 times in a turn. So I just went, oh. But because of the way that it works as well, and you being able to do it, move one out, swing, it dies, sure, but then move another one out and do it. It was just so cool, and it's super nice play. How do you feel about the card?
It's great. It really is amazing. I think you need to have some experience with it. So I've seen a lot of players just go over it for no reason. This is essentially, brick save as well. If you have a tamer, no rookies, this will continue the Digivolution chain of draw, draw, play. It is fantastic for closing out games. It's won me so many games. I can't even count, honestly.
Yeah. You also genuinely, and you said the perfect thing that it comes with experience when using this, but you need to watch out for using this at the wrong time.
Yeah, totally.
Because putting this on top of a Davis when you only have 1 tamer and losing your 3 memory every single turn can lose you the game. Because it's so important in this deck that you're getting that 3 memory at the start of every turn. But it's really nice, and it's one of those, I think, where if you didn't have it, you'd miss it. But sometimes it's in hand, and it's just a 2-cost vanilla, really. But when it comes in, it wins you the game. So next, we're going to be looking at our ultimates. So we're running 4 Imperialdramon and 4 Dinobemon. This is just a classic list for the Imperialdramon. I don't think you really have to say much about this.
Not much to say.
There's not much. I don't think you run any other ultimates because of Imperial's effect needing it to be either of these to actually get the reduction in its Digivolve cost. You're going to run these. Of course, Imperialdramon is the way better option.
100%.
Being able to have jamming and then also being able to restand your Imperialdramon is just pretty darn nutty. But I can actually see a Dinobemon coming up sometimes.
We'll talk about level 6s, but Dino B has become the sleeper threat in locals now. People are super aware of this, and you'll see why in a bit. But it's essentially, if you've got Pile out, he's just such a good card. He's such a good card. It's nuts.
And next up, I've already used the word pièce de résistance, so we'll just say your main boss this time. We've actually got Imperialdramon Dragon Mode here. So again, you've got the alt arts there. Jen's got 4 of the alt arts on the go, which are just super shiny and crazy to go off. But if you don't know what Imperialdramon does, it came out in set 1.5, and it's actually a card that shocked a lot of people because they just didn't expect it to be coming around so much in this set. No one really, like, I'd say that no one really had an emphasis that blue would do so much.
No.
We got the Ancients, which of course are a little bit better because we got the promo that Japan didn't get on release, but like Ancient Garurumon is a nice deck and I love how it plays, but it's definitely not meta defining. But this is this is definitely causing an impact. So if you don't know what it does, it actually it's a 5 Digivolve cost, wink wink, on top of blue or green. It has 12,000 DP, which is nice for it's nice for an actual mega, because things like Yellow War Greymon are 11,000, and yeah, it's got some nice effects. So the reason that I said wink wink is because it has the effect of when you Digivolve on top of the Pyaldramon or the Dynavimon, it actually only costs 3. Thing to watch out for that, obviously, because you can't activate Digivolve effects when in a raising area. You can't actually do that, so it would cost you 5 if you were to skip like straight away in your raising area, so definitely look out for that. It just has the simpling ability of jamming, and when digivolving you can unsuspend all of your Digimon with jamming. So the play that a lot of people do, and the basic play, is you swing with Pyaldramon because it has jamming, digivolve on top of it with Imperialdramon, and because this has jamming and this has jamming, it will restand itself. You can swing, and then because of Pyaldramon's effect, you can restand and swing again. So 3 attacks with 1 mega in 1 turn is insane. Now, as we mentioned earlier, if you have the Vmon out, you can actually restand that too. So you can go swing with Vmon, swing with Pyaldramon, Digivolve into your Imperialdramon, restand, do all of your swings. That's like 5 attacks in turn, which is just bonkers, ridiculous, really. But yeah, is there anything really that you want to say about this? It's
not particularly. You have covered most of it. It's just a super consistent and super strong boss monster, to be honest.
There's not much really else to say. It does what it does, and it does it well. But now, I believe, it is the spiciest, very, very spicy, and I know for a fact a lot of people have said, you're running that and that. Nidhogg mons. John's actually running 2 Nidhogg, and I've played against this deck enough, and John enough, to know that this is just a pain in my ass every single time this comes up, because you just don't expect it to actually be coming up. But yeah, you talk about this. This is your baby.
Yeah, so this actually came about because Dino B felt really sucky to go into for Imperial in general. This kind of neuters Imperial, to be honest, because you're so used to the effect of Pyaldramon to restand, attack, restand, you know. Under Dino B, you kind of get the 2 swings, but that's it for the entirety. So I was really looking for a way to spice up Dino B to the point where he would become a legitimate threat. And the play normally is bring Dino B into the Raisin, bring him out, swing with him, and then play Nidhoggmon on top, Digiburst, and whiteboards essentially.
Yeah. I've been punished by this so many times because, like, playing Yellow or Greymon and just thinking, okay, I've got the upper hand here, and you having such like a bad game, and then all of a sudden I get Nidhogged and I've just lost half my board, and you're back into the game. You've got a card that's such an annoyance for me to get rid of.
13k is such a horrible, horrible power base to deal with.
And I love this tech. I just think it's fantastic, and this is what this is the sort of thing that I love about card games. Is this isn't the normal thing, and this isn't the normal list that people would run a Nidhogg in, but it works. It really does work. Every time I've been Nidhogged in this deck, it feels gross. And it's nice to have spice. It's nice to not just see the same list over and over again.
This has kind of made people very aware of Dino being locals. So they're very, very adamant about kind of like killing this guy off now, unfortunately.
Next up, we are running 2 Omnimon. I don't have to say too much about this. This list doesn't run like hardly any removal. Being able to do your really heavy, hard-hitting shenanigans with Imperialdramon and then going into Omnimon is ridiculous. Being able to... So there are a lot of times where I'll be like, oh cool, these just went for security, my stuff's going to be safe, and then the Omnimon's away me War Greymon anyway, so I'm left with nothing and I'm crying because it's 15k base. There's not much to say. It also packs a punch because of its restanding capabilities. It can finish off your job from Imperialdramon. Being able to do the Imperialdramon combo like straight away, and then going to Omnimon is just like, that's game most of the time. It
is pretty much the board removal essentially. So many cards are obviously the same name. Like you've got the Piedmons, you know, the 5k blockers for yellow. Ton of them come out each game against yellow. This is so good for just removing that board state.
Yeah.
So.
No, definitely. I've actually had 2 different Angelomons out before and been Omnimod and just wanted to absolutely cry. Next up, we've got Hammerspark. Again, don't have to say too much about this. I've already talked a little bit about what you do with this. You basically try and collect all of these in your hand and then use 3 at the same time, or however many you need to be able to play this and this in the same turn. Yeah, cool. I hate this card so much. Not only because of how strong it is to be able to like cheap that out and do things and just like skamage you, but the security effect just loses me so many games.
Yeah, this actually came up recently in locals. It's very strong in security, and you should always keep an eye on how many you've played and how many you've seen, so how many you have in hand, because there's a good chance if you've only seen 2 and you're halfway through your deck that there's 1 insecurity. One thing I will say with all the memory block rookies floating about, if you do see one of them, say in raising area, that they'll bring up next turn to just kind of like get an effect on or etc., which did actually happen to me against the black deck. Just use these. There's always value to be had with getting anything out with them. If you can't play them like the next turn or turn after, then obviously it's a dead card. So use them while you can is what I'll say.
Yeah. To finish off your options, you're actually running 1 Kakitas Breath, and you have the alt art again for this, which is really nice. Talk a little bit about this. This is still a little bit spicy.
Yeah, this is went back and forth a lot of times with Kakitas. It's not that I don't particularly like it. It's just Midhog kind of came in for board removal, which blue severely lacks. Like blue really struggles against the big board, and Midhog does that job. Kakitas is for everything else. Everything else that likes to restand, or they know how you play. They don't want to just keep suspended, stuff like that. The main issue that I always find with it is a 7 cost, and if you are behind, it's kind of like you will go behind even more if they can just hard play something again.
But this does definitely come in clutch at times.
It does.
Again, like because I'm such a yellow player and I'm gross, I've been returning my War Greymon. I hate it so much because it's going to cost me like at least 7 to be able to bring it back out anyway.
One of the main things with this card is if you pay attention to the way your opponent's playing, if they haven't put a level 5 in on their level 4 in raising area for a while, you know for full effect that they are struggling with level 5s. If they make it and get to a level 6, they have to search another level 5, which is very difficult for them. So if you pay attention to exactly what your opponent's playing, and if you've got a good guess at what they're struggling to find, this can actually win you games in that regard, because you think, I can just do that, and then they've got to dig, and then you're normally too far ahead for them to get it. So,
And to finish the profile, we've actually got 3 Davis Multimedia. So this is one of the best rookies right now. Sorry, rookies. One of the best tamers in the game. So if you don't know what Davis does, it has a on-play effect of you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and reveal a blue and a green card and add them to your hand, and then you put the rest at the bottom. And then obviously it also has the put your memories at 3 at the start of your turn effect. Being able to play this, especially in your deck when you're running Midhog.
It is actually added value with Midhog. Essentially, you've got six green cards that you can hit. It just makes Davis so much better as well, and Davis is already a fantastic tamer. So
it is. Yeah, there's not really a lot to say about it. It's a really nice card. Being able to pretty much add like anything in your deck to your hand, but then also being able to add 2 from the on-play effect of a tamer is ridiculous. And it also has the security effect of play this, which is nice because usually you'd play it and like go, oh cool, my tamer's out. But when you play Davis, you go, oh cool, my tamer's out, my memory's going to 3. Also, I'm going to look for pieces that I'm missing. The amount of times I've played against this deck, and even though it's at 1.5, and I'd kill like 3 Imperialdramons, and I'd be like, well, at least I can like start to like calm down, build a board back, and then Davis, and you get the other Imperialdramon, and I just want to absolutely cry, like cry my eyes out. Davis comes in definitely clutch. But yeah, that is the Imperialdramon list from locals that you have all asked for. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.